Guys, if anyone misses any session, no, so you guys can go through the recording sessions and go through the demo programs which I have given. And still, if you have any doubts, you can obviously ask them. Okay, so whenever we interact, you just let me know so that we can have a quick discussion, or you guys can, anyone can also just pitch in, and you guys can also explain to your colleagues. Okay, right.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, one example, please, sir, for array.
Correct. Don't worry. No issues. So for example, you have a requirement to convert from list to an, for example, array to a list and list to an array, or vice versa, from any collection to any given collection. Okay, so let me make one driver for us. So probably array to list. So let's take any user defined data type. So, and then we'll try to process it. So let's say we already have created these employee class now. So let me take the same copy and let me use it here as well. Okay. So now let me create an array of my employee. How do I create it? So what is the syntax? So just like any other wrapper classes, here also I will be able to create array of my employee. Correct. So I'll call it as employees is equal to new. Either I can allocate the memory and then assign it. So we know what is the memory map, guys. What will happen if I do like this? Guys, what will happen?
Object of employee.
Are we creating an object of an employee, or are we creating a reference variable? Array of reference variables.
Reference variable.
Array of reference variables.
Left side जो भी है वो हम stack में create कर रहे हैं. Whenever we say new ना heap में चला जाएगा. ठीक है? So let's create one. For example, if you want to create something like this, then new, I will say employee. See, if I do this, this becomes a constructor, correct? No? So if I do this, then it will become, and it will going to allocate me what is this the number of index variable or a reference variables that I want to create. So let's say I'll go for 5. So what is that meaning? So this has got 5 indexes. This reference variable has got 5 indexes starting from 0 to 4. So ye to pata hai humko. So whatever objects you want to refer, you can refer it. Okay. So for example, we don't have an add method here. So everything is fixed there. So you need to go for example, employees of 0, where you want to refer it to. So let's say new employee. So let me give some random values there. So some salary is getting let me just copy paste and let me just duplicate it. Give me a second. 1 second, guys. Okay, let's keep this array size to 3. So suppose if you want to convert them, I don't want to keep it. Let's say assume that my data is growing dynamically. Okay, but I have a fixed size here. So I want to my existing data is in an array, and I want to move it to my collection framework. So I'll go for a list. Okay, I want to create a list of employees. Okay, so now this is my array list of my employees. So we have an object ready to accept it. Okay, one way is you can iterate through this particular array, and one by one you can add it to this. Okay, so is there any method that can directly take my array and convert into my list? Okay, for example, this is my employees. Correct. So do we have any method so that can give me, that can makes that will make my array converted into a particular list? Okay, so or can we pass it? So this is how you need to check it. So or can I pass it as an argument to this particular collection? Okay, so this is a constructor. So can this particular constructor take an argument of an array? So is it possible for it to construct this? So now let's check this. So this is my array list now. So हम सीधा documentation में चले जाएंगे. So go to Google, then just type array list methods. So I want to refer Oracle documentation. Let's say Java 8. So I get these array list methods. So here you can go to the constructors. So you have these constructors here. Okay, you can see here. So if you this particular array list, it has having an empty constructor, and it is having a constructor. If you have a collection, then I will be able to make a copy of it. Correct, no? So we just give a glance quickly, try to check if there is any method that can convert my array to a collection. All of you can have a quick glance. Is there any method in this? Similarly, we have one more utility class, guys, that is called as arrays. So let me go to Google and let me check with arrays. Methods, Java. So arrays is a utility class, guys. You can see. So there is a method called, there is a class utility. We call it as a utility class. So you can see it contains various methods for manipulating arrays. So check this also. You tell me which method you have something so that I can make use of it and convert into a list or some collection. Yes, guys. Sorry. I'm not able to hear you properly.
I'm talking about arrays.asList is the method for converting.
Arrays dot.
As
Correct. Ah, very good. Very good. Very good.
The first one.
Yeah. Correct, no? So इसमें तो नहीं है. Correct, no? So that's why they have created one more utility class called arrays, and you will be able to convert your array of any given data type to a particular collection. Okay. So as list is the method. That's all. So ऐसे ही आपको you have to find out. So आपको you have to learn that way of finding out the solution. Okay. So that's why I always recommend you guys to do some little self study every day. आपको नया टॉपिक चूज करना है, आपको पढ़ना है, आपको एक्सपेरिमेंट करना है, कहाँ पे ये यूज होगा, आपको ये सोचना पड़ेगा. Okay, that will develop over a period of time, and then you will become an independent developer. So what company expects? See, suppose that there is a new requirement. Okay, you have got enough training and you already experienced. So let's say there is a new requirement. आपको पढ़ के भी करना पड़ेगा. You may have to read and you may have to do the piloting of that new concept, and you may have to showcase your technical skills. Okay, so ऐसे ही आपको every time you need to have that that kind of enthusiasm or curiosity to find a new way to do it or a better way to do it. Okay, so let's quickly do this. So for example, we have an arrays class, so that will going to give me 1 second, guys. Just give me a second, guys.
Hi everyone, very good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
When Shrina joins back, just wanted to understand from each one of you, you have visibility of what are we going to cover today. Little, can you tell us what are the topics we have planned for today?
Sorry, coming. Sorry, hey.
No, Shrinath asking Mridul.
Yeah, okay.
Can you tell me what all topics we have planned for today?
I think so we started with arrays, I'm not sure about it.
Can you tell me what all topics we have planned for today?
No, we haven't discussed that yet.
Mridul, I can't hear you properly. Some background noise.
Just a second. We haven't discussed that yet.
Plan for a minute.
Yeah.
Nikhil, meanwhile, do you know what
Sorry for that.
the topic we have planned to cover today?
Hello.
Divisha?
Sir, like collection for today topic, and sir told like J unit in testing.
J unit.
I think J unit for today's topic.
Elections and J unit testing are the two topics only?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. Go ahead. Shrinath, over to you. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
all of you, I'll be asking you in the evening what all you have covered today. J testing, J unit testing, and collections. Be ready.
Thank you, Ash.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for your support. Yes. Okay, guys. Okay, right away we have arrays class. We got to know that there is something called as arrays. Okay, so you can see here in utility they have written one arrays class. Okay, so here we have one static method. So using that, what we can do?
Team, just one request, Srinath. I
Yeah.
think during the session, it's my request if we can switch on cameras, that will be great. Because without watching face, I think it doesn't bring any value, especially virtually when we are connecting. All of you, please
Okay.
make sure your cameras are switched on and off in between, and Srinath, yours as well.
Yeah, that's correct. Sure. So what I preferred is initially we whenever we interact, we always switch on. So during my explanation, I don't wanted that distraction. See, suppose someone will be grooming their hair or doing something like that. So I don't wanted that
That's okay. They can switch off,
concentration
but
to
you
go off.
should switch on your camera that time. Let them
Sorry.
switch off. I'm saying let them switch off their camera. You can at least switch on your camera because when you're speaking, they should basically see you as well. That's very important.
Oh, I'm not so comfortable, Ash. We can talk separately on this. So whenever
Okay.
I'm teaching, so I just want it to be on off the camera so that I can also
No,
focus
Srinath,
on my.
I think Srinath, just one second. I think we
Yeah.
have to be very clear on this, and we've been very
Okay.
clear right from the beginning. Trainer has
Okay.
to switch on the camera, and there's no alternative for that, right?
Okay. I need to
There are
speak to the
challenges.
vendor
Probably
then.
let's
Yeah.
speak right now.
Oh, yes, sure. You can call me up.
I think you can ask Maninder to plan a call right now
Oh,
itself.
sure.
Let's do
Sure.
that call. And
Yeah, please.
you can meanwhile ask them to go through some concepts, and let's do that call right away. Okay. Guys, meanwhile, I think Sheena joins back. Guys, can you tell me what we have covered yesterday?
Surely. So we started off with sets, then ended up with
And maps, sir.
map.
Sets map, very good.
So two topics were covered yesterday. Sets and map. Okay.
I think Mridul, there is some issue with your mic.
Okay, I'll.
There are a
I'm
lot
sorry.
of background noise. I don't know why.
Oh, it's raining heavily outside. I might think for.
No problem. Anybody else who has good sound? Who's the batch spoke?
Yesterday we have covered two topics majorly.
Okay.
One was sets and one was sets, sir. Map and sets.
Excellent. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. And have you covered this, what we say, all the operators, variables, static, primitive, binary literals, data types?
Yes,
Have you
sir.
covered that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Covered.
Excellent. Very nice.
In
Loops,
loops, batch,
switches, all that you also covered, right? Okay. Okay. So all of you, how was your first assessment?
Sir, it
Sir,
was
it's fine.
quite
Was
good.
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 Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, nice. So guys, I think one important point wanted to highlight, that is, see, the main objective of this program is that you should actually spend good time writing code. Okay, it's important that you should know theory aspect of the concept, uh, but you should actually focus on the practical aspect as well. Okay, that is also equally important for you. Okay, so please make sure that you focus on that aspect too, because that plays a very important role, because practical understanding of the topic is equally important. I would say give 60% weightage to the practical topics and 40% weightage to theory. And you should actually know how to write the code. Whatever topics your trainer is covering each day, you should know how to write the code. That's very important. I can see Srinath was giving you glimpse about some array list just now, array and talking about some list as well. And he was also talking and telling you about some of the inbuilt functions which are there in the library, right? So one thing which I really liked and which I should also highlight here is you need to make sure that you Google it and see what all different functions are there in the library. Every function, it is not possible for trainer to cover every function, because there are a lot of functions in the library. So it is better you do your homeworks and make sure that you utilize this time so beautifully, that once you finish this 10 weeks of program, you know how to apply code. Like I take an example, we have for loop, we have a if else, right? If else is used when there is a condition and you want to run certain instruction based on conditions, and there is a switch case as well. These are two options for you. Now you have to decide which one you want to use, if else or switch. You have to think, you have to apply your logic when you're actually writing code. Am I making sense? So please make sure more and more hands-on you do. If your cameras are off as well at times, please make sure you make most of this time, because I can see a lot of people have written a lot of good posts and shown a lot of excitement on LinkedIn. You have to continue that in your journey as well, and make sure that you once finish this 10-week program, you actually demonstrate that you have actually learned the practical aspect of all the topics which we have assigned to you in this learning journey. Okay, practicals are very important, so you should know how to write the code. Okay, all right. Okay, so I have another call as well, so I'll be on mute now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Harsh. Yes, guys, shall we? Yeah, thank you so much. Yes. So guys, right. Okay, guys, I've shown you this way. So you guys give a little hands-on, try it out yourself. So then it will be really nice for you guys to explore a little. So आपको थोड़ा effort डालना है until you get a grip on the code. Okay, this is just a just an example, like you need to go through this documentation, like so what exactly this will do for us. So that application mind will come only when you do it on your own. So I'm just here to give you the initial push. So iske baad mein aap sabko khud hi chalna hai. So that's what I just wanted to highlight. So I'll stop this here. So you guys, Prince, you just explore it, and I'm sure you will be able to come out and you will be able to convert whatever to whatever data type you want. Okay, right. So yes, moving on, guys. So what is the that I did not address so far? I wanted to address something like, let's say I have my data in the hand, and how am I supposed to sort them? So there are two questions. One question is to check the equality. So we already addressed how to check the equality. So equality means whether it is equal true, not equal false, that's all. Okay, we are not comparing it. So how do we compare it? So when do we need comparison? Comparison is required when we go for sorting. So what is sorting? So we know that we want to place them in certain order. Correct, no? Either in ascending order or descending order. Right. So now let's quickly do that sorting. How we can do that, those things with respect to our primitive data types. Let's create quickly and let's discuss about it. So we want to do some sorting. Okay. Sorting driver. So you should observe here. So as soon as I look into this is a driver, correct? But what we are doing here. So it will also highlight me that this is doing what it is meant for. So later we can also discuss about writing commands, how we have to write a command, etc. later. So now let's quickly create a list of, let's say, integer. So I'll call this as int list. Okay, is equal to, I have a new array list. So I just have to import these things. So let me import it. So to this int list, let me quickly add some numbers. I'm just trying to showcase you what is the similarity and what is the advantage of this particular framework. So when we achieve this inheritance, so I've shown you that hierarchy of our collection framework. So the topmost interface is collections, correct? No? So what are all the contracts which are available in that particular collection? Because my set, the list, and queue are all the siblings, they all will have a common method. Correct. No? So if you what is the advantage of this? So let's say I understand all the methods in the collection, then I will be able to use them across all the implementations. Correct. No? So in that way, if I can understand how I can sort these particular list, then I will also be able to understand how I can sort other collection types as well. Okay, right. So let me add some numbers here, random numbers, let's see. So as and when you are getting a data, you are adding it to the list. So I'm aware that it will going to retain my positions. So order. So because it is just a list, so I can also access them through indexing, right? But my problem is I need to sort it. So what I want to sort, where it will get sorted. So whether when I sort it, do I want that elements or this particular memory this particular object contains my data, that object itself should get sorted. You need to know where is my data and where it will going to manipulate my data. So the content of this particular object, these are all the elements of the object array list. So, and then I want to make them or reorder them. Okay. So how can I do it? So the simplest way is, as we were discussing about array, I can also use this arrays class. Sorry. Arrays.
Sir, it's arrays dot sort.
Yeah, correct. So I have not imported now, so it's automatically nahi de raha hai. Okay. Arrays. So what we need to do, so this is our utility class, and there we have one utility method called sort. So to this sort method, I will be able to send my integer list. Okay. So now 1 second. Mhm.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I think collections dot short over.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah, correct, correct. So I sorry. So this is if you have a normal array. So yes, that's correct. So we need to go for. So थोड़ा distract हो गया मैं. So I am not comfortable today. Uh, give me a second, guys. I think I'm disturbed. I'll continue after. Can we take a break, guys, if you don't mind?
Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. दिमाग नहीं चल रहा है. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Am I audible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. Let's catch up quickly. So, what I wanted. So, I have a collection, and I have a collections utility class. So, you just we need to understand that collection is an interface, whereas collections is a utility class. Okay. So this S matters. So if you see this S, so then we get some utility methods. Okay, this particular utility method. 1 second. It's meant for sorting this particular list. Okay. So you can also go to this particular collection. You can just, how I shown you. You guys can go here. You just quickly Google for it. So always refer the primary source is your Google documentation. Let's say if you don't get what you're looking for, obviously you can go for other some of the there are some websites wherein you will get a lot of other good stuff. So you should be able to search it through. Okay. So officially I'm just referring this particular documentation, guys. So but you are free to look for the information anywhere else. So right now I want this particular collections methods. I want to refer in Java from Java version 8, and I prefer this Oracle website because that's the primary source for my documentation. I think it's showing collection. So no, I want collections. Yeah. So you guys can spend some time. You just go through these definitions. Okay. So these are all the methods available. So you guys can explore about them. Okay. And also say suppose we are interested in something which sorts our data. Let's see which are all the overloaded methods are there. So I can sort, you can see here. So, and also this particular sort, I can also write one comparator class here. So that means we need to understand what is this comparator. Okay. So that's it, guys. So let's try to sort it first, and then we will see based on different attributes of my data type, I will also be able to compare them, or I will be able to sort them. Okay, so now let's try to quickly sort it off and try to print the list. So now let me quickly go and display this into list. So what do you need to understand? This sort method is as manipulated your data in that particular collection itself. Okay, right. So it has made changes to your object. So what is this? Okay, okay, I had. So you can observe here. So my collections utility class understood that how to sort them. Okay, so all like this, all your wrapper objects will be able, we will be able to sort it. For example, whether it is a list of strings. So let me just quickly do that for your reference. Let's say I have a string data type. So as usual, let's say this is my names list. So this particular name list. Let's say I'm trying to add some names to this particular list. Let me add them in random order. So suppose if I display them, of course, you can see it has maintained, it has done its job, and you can see that the whatever order you have inserted, it is in the same order. So let's say we want to sort it. So go with the go for this particular collection, then you can go for sort, and then you can say that names list. So internally, it knows how to compare this particular data type. That is a string data type. Correct? No? String is a special data type that has been created by Java, and Java knows how to compare. So which string is greater than the other. So it is able to sort it out. So now if I try to get the output of this, so I will be able to get the sorted. So all primitive, all wrapper objects, I'll be able to sort it like this, whatever may be the data type. So now the question is, suppose if it is a user defined data type, so then how it will get to know how to sort it? Let's build a list and then let's see. So for example, let me copy the data from our previous session. 1 second, guys. Let's assume this is our list. So there is an employee list. So we have these random data. So now let's apply this same collections dot, let's say, sort, and also we'll send this employee list. Do you think it will sort for us, guys?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, this is what in today morning Prince did. So now let's see what it says. The method sort list in the type collection is not applicable for argument of type list employee. So it is saying that no, it is not able to sort this particular data type or list of employees. So there are two things we need to understand. See, suppose I want to embed that logic of comparing my employee with another employee object. So then I have to implement something called as comparable. So comparable is an interface. So in this, I will be comparing objects of two employees. So I need to, this is also a generic one. So I need to specify which employee I would like to compare. So as soon as you are implementing, so there is a contract. Correct now? What is that contract? So that I need to implement. So you just have to bring your mouse on top of this employee and click on this add unimplemented method. Okay, so we need to look at the template. So this is the code template, which is automatically created by my Eclipse. Okay, so I have a method called compare to. Based on what you want to compare. So let's say there is a list of employees. Let's say this is correct, but how you, based on what you want to sort it. So we also call it as, there is something called as a default sorting. Default sorting आप कौन सी attribute से करना चाहते हो. So then you can implement that comparable interface in that class itself. So whichever is your user defined data type, उसी के अंदर आप implement कर. So we are defining our logic here itself. This is where we write our logic. So when our collections utility class is ordering your employee objects, वो इस method को refer कर देगा and it will get to know which is greater and which is lesser. Okay, so now what is my duty? So we need to understand what it is expecting. Compare to. Compare to is expecting one simple integer value. So let's say I have these criteria. So let's say if A is equal to B, आपको return करना पड़ेगा 0. ठीक है? Then return 0. So if it is A greater than B, okay, आपको positive value return करना है. Okay, let's say you will going to give any positive value. For example, if you are comparing any characters, so we have discussed initial days in the beginning. So it will going to do the lexicographical comparison. करेगा वो. Correct, no? Suppose if you are comparing any two numbers, so then obviously if it is it will be basically make the subtraction like A minus B. If B is greater, then आपको negative result आ जाएगा. So that means A is lesser than B. If A is greater, then positive value आ जाएगा. So if A is greater, then it will go to give result as greater than 0. That is, it will go to give you positive value. Okay. Similarly, if A is less than B, A minus B क्या होगा? Right. So B is greater. So what will happen? I'm going to get a negative value. Okay. This is what I need to return from this particular method. So now I have a built-in method. Let's say this is the object of my parameter. Okay. I have a reference to my current object, and I need to compare with the object which is getting passed in. Okay. So one second, guys. Let's say I want to sort it based on my employee ID. So then the current object employee ID is available with the current reference, that is this reference. So ID ko refer kar lo. Then that particular primitive, that particular wrapper class has got a method called compare to. So hum cha rahe hain, we want to compare the objects of the employee. But inside that, I'm writing and logic to compare the IDs. So internally, my intention is to sort them based on the ID of my employee. Okay. So ID compared to ID of, see, this is my object. So this is my basically, this is my employee 2 object. Correct. No? I will write it as other employee. Okay. So this is my other employee object. So I need to get that ID now. So I can refer because I think we did not make it private. You can see we did not make it private, so that's why it is available for me. Usually because I want to create a Pojo class now. So we always keep our data members private. So why I'm saying is because I had a visibility of the ID here itself. I would have written ID directly here. So, but I just want to make sure my data members are private. Accidentally also, I should not allow myself to manipulate it. Okay. So I should be aware that I'm using the getter method to do that. So get the ID. So now the question is what this compare to will do. The compare to, all of you please read this return value quickly. If they are equal, then this will going to give me 0 as output or return value. If a value is less than 0, it will going to give me a negative value if my integer is numerically less than the argument integer. Okay. So and similarly, it will going to give you greater than 0 if your integer value is greater than your argument integer. Okay, simple hai. If both the values are equal, 0 dega. If my first value is greater than the second value, okay, so then it will going to give me that A is greater. Otherwise, it will going to give me less than 0 if my first value is less than the second value. So simple. So this is the default method for this entire class to sort your elements. So this will becomes your default sorting technique. So you want to sort based on ID, that is employee ID. So whatever you want. So how do you want to naturally, this you can also call it as natural sorting. So based on which attribute of your class you want to sort it, you have to decide it. So you will have a different business scenarios on which you want to sort them. So if that is a requirement, then you implement comparable in that particular user defined class itself. Is this clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now let me save this file. So let me go to the driver. So let's see what is happening here. So, okay, list of T, the type collection is not applicable for argument list. Okay, no issues. So 1 second, guys. Will I be able to sort it now? So let's say I have my employee list. Then I have a sort method. Okay, it needs a comparator. 1 second. One second, guys. Collections. Give me a second, guys. Yeah, sorry guys. So let's continue. So what we're trying to do, so we want to make this particular collections class to understand how we want to compare. Okay, so we want to come, let me make sure that we have used the same employee class here as well. So let's see from where it is getting imported. So you can observe here guys that this particular employee class, what I've created the list because I copied from a other document. So this particular employee is getting created from a different package. This is June 28 collections employee class, correct? So whereas I have written that comparable in my own employee class. So each employee definition of employee class is different. So it is in this package June 30th. So it will going to treat it as a different data type. Even though the name is same, the package also matters. So the reason is it depends on your requirement. So I'm keeping it in a separate package. The meaning is the purpose is different. Correct now? So in the package 30, June 30, I have written this particular, I have implemented this comparable. Whereas if you go to, try to understand, if you go to this June 28, there is no comparable interface implemented there. So that's the reason it is telling me that it is not able to sort it. So I want it to sort my employee list. So it's saying it is not able to sort. So what am I supposed to do? So this import, I need to change it. So where is that import? This is the import. So I'm just making it, see, by default, it will refer this current package employee. But what I am doing, I'm making it to refer to June 28. So let me remove this. समझ में आया ये? What happened? Guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay. So now I'm able to sort it now. You can see. So see, most of the time we see, I think so far, maybe our understanding is wrong, but what compiler is saying, if you properly sit and spend some time, you will be able to get to know why it is showing the error. So probably very rarely your Eclipse or your STS might have not saved the files. So you can quickly save all the files and get to know what is happening. If your system is not very slow, then it will immediately will be able to rectify it. Okay, so now let's try to print it. System.out. So I want to print this employee list. Okay, let's print it. So you guys, okay, before sorting, let me print system.out. This is my before sort. Okay, so I want to display my employee list. So this is my after sort. Okay. Okay, you can see the order is 1, 3, 2. So 3 is in between now. So now after sorting, you can see that it's at the last index. Okay. So now the question is, see, suppose if I want to sort them based on their names, or if I want to sort them based on their salary. So I'll not be able to write multiple default sorting techniques in the same class. So generally, we write comparable to implement a default sorting mechanism for my user-defined data type, whatever may be the data type. Okay, now let's say based on certain type, I want to implement something. I want to do the sorting. Then you have to implement something called as a comparator interface in a separate class. So let's do that. So let's go ahead and create one class. Okay, so based on what I want to sort. I want to sort the employee based on the name, let's say. So then I'll create a class. Look at the naming convention here. I want to basically sort employee, okay, based on what? Okay, based on, let's say, name. Okay, sort employee by name. So I'll also write it is a comparator. Okay. Sort employee by name comparator. By name itself, I'm able to get to know. So let's create it. So what I'm supposed to do with this? So this is a class. Okay. So if you create the object of it, I want one method that can compare two objects of my user defined data type. User means we are the users. So that means a programmer. Okay. So programmer wants to implement something called as comparator. COMPARETOR. So comparable is for default searching mechanism. So this is for customized searching. So what do you want to compare? So I want to compare my employee object. Whatever user defined data type you want to compare, you can go for it. So now what I need to do, I need to do the implementation of unimplemented method. So it also looks similar, but here it is taking two arguments. So this is the reference of the first object. This is the reference of the second object. Simple. So what I'm supposed to do? Again, you have to return the same values. 0 for same, positive value if it is greater, negative value if it is lesser. So now you can see here, I want to compare them based on the name. Correct now? So now let me go for object one dot, let me get the name because I want to sort them by name dot compare to COMPARE compare to, I want to compare to object 2 dot get name. So what I'm trying to do, so let's see what is this compare to will do. So we know what is lexicographical now. We discussed, I had a long discussion on this. Guys, do you remember what is lexicographical? Based on a unique code. Yeah. So based on your Unicode value, I just want to sort your names. I want to sort your employee objects based on their names. So look at this. So it will going to return you after comparison. If both the names are same, it will return you 0. So let's check the return value of this. Same, no? Sorry, guys, 1 second. Okay, guys. So what do? I'll just simply save this. So there is an implementation of a compare method. So whenever you want to sort your employee objects based on the names, you can use this comparator. So how am I supposed to use? So let's go to the driver. So in this particular driver, so let's say I want to sort my employees. So I'll go for this particular collections. Okay, dot sort. I have a sort. I have one overloaded method. You can see here. So which list you want to sort? So I want to sort this employee list. So how you want to sort? You can also pass on some comparator here. So which comparator you want to send? So I want to send this sort employee by name comparator. So I want to use this sort employee by name comparator. Okay, so now you can observe that it is giving you an error saying that is not resolved to a variable. That means you have to send the object of this. So what do? I'll simply say new and I'll make this as an object. And I'll send it. Later, I'll just try to display system.out. I will print this list. So this time it has to sort me based on their names, guys. Correct now? So now it is based on the, this is sorted by names. So like this, I want you guys to sort it based on your requirement. So let's see, this is a correct. And then it is printing me F. and then it is printing me G. Correct now? So similarly, did you understand, guys? So based on whatever attribute you want to sort them, so you will be able to implement one comparator and you will be able to sort them. Any questions here, guys? I think few of you have already implemented the comparator and comparable and shown me the other day. Is this clear, guys? Did you understand the difference? Comparable
sir.
and comparator? Yes. So it is quite easy. So whatever you want to compare, so आप compare कर सकते हो. Whatever may be the attribute you want to compare. So similarly, you can also compare based on the salary, and you'll be able to print them out. Okay, right. So similarly, guys, so let's also check whether this particular EMP list also has got a sort method. Okay, you can directly send your comparator object here and get it sorted. Okay, let me quickly create one more comparator. Give me a minute. Let me create this. So I'll call this as 1 second. Yes. Sorry. Sorry, guys. So what we are trying to do is we were trying to sort our employees based on the salary. So let's quickly do it. Sort these employee. We generally we do not abbreviate. So let's say we want to sort this employee by their salary. I'm not saying that this will be so direct. So based on whatever logic you want to convey, whether they are equal, you just simply return zero. आपको zero return करना पड़ेगा. So if you want to make that object greater than the other one, you return the positive value. If you negative value return करो, so वो आपको नीचे डाल देगा. ठीक है? So this is how you have to implement it. Sort EMP by salary. So you can see that the naming convention is not right. So we know how to correct it. So go to the refactoring. So here you can do this sort employee by salary. So quickly let's do this. Implements. One second, guys. One second, guys. So can you guys go ahead and implement it and show it to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
So I just want to see whether you guys can do it on your own. Just try to sort it for me. Let's see. Quickly create one list of employees. I think you guys can take a break as well, guys. So take a break for 15 minutes and then try it out this. Try to write your comparator so that I can sort it based on my salary. All of you take a break for 15 minutes and take up this.
Okay, sir.
So, sir, can you please upload this code on the drive?
Sorry.
So you can upload
Can
this
we-
code.
हाँ ठीक है मैं
In
कर
the-
दूंगा अभी कर रहा हूँ. हाँ. And let me tell you guys that this is not the right way to share the code. Okay, so we'll discuss about how we are. All of you, please go to the Git repository or GitHub. Okay, so let me give you some links. All of you do a hands-on or do some experimentation on this today. So tomorrow we'll discuss about it and then we'll start using it. Okay, right. For example, let me go to Google and take up this something called as a Git. Git or GitHub. So all of you create an account in this. So then we'll start using it. That will be much more easier for us. So probably many of you might have already started using this. So those who are not aware, so try to read about it. And create an account in the GitHub as well. Okay, that will be the assignment for today, guys. So that will be a part of your self-study. Of course, we'll discuss, we'll have a small demo tomorrow. Before that, I want all of you to read it once. Okay, take a break, guys. Yes, I've uploaded it. You guys can go through it. Hello guys, am I audible? Are you guys back from the break? Are you guys working
sir.
on this? Are you working on this comparator?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Guys, anybody completed it? Can you just quickly share your screen?
Yes. Sir.
Yeah. Yeah, Divisha, your screen is visible. Yeah. Okay, you have a list of employees.
This is mine.
This is not my screen.
So this is mine. Prince Verma.
Oh, Prince. आपने share कर दिया, ठीक है. Uh-huh. So what Prince is doing, he is using collection.sort. ये तो default sorting हो गया ना, Prince. Comparable से ये काम चल रहा है अभी. What you're showing, it is getting sorted.
Comparator, employee.
हाँ, ठीक है.
And this is employee class.
ठीक है. So by default, it is getting sorted by ID. हाँ, ठीक है. Then, so where is the implementation? Where is the driver class?
So this is driver class. Collections.sort.
हाँ. So how it is getting sorted now? Can you show us the result? Is it getting sorted by ID or salary के ऊपर sort हो रहा है? अभी execute करो देखेंगे.
Not working.
Why? Got hanged?
Yes.
ठीक है. No problem. Divisha, you can go ahead and share. No, the thing is, you have used
Yes, sir.
collection.sort. So default sorting हो रहा है अभी. I think it will be sorting based on your ID. So you can see the order in which you have inserted, it's also already sorted based on the ID. वो random कर लो and बाद में check कर लो. Okay, Divisha, have you done?
Sorted is according to the salary.
हाँ, 1 minute मैं आ रहा हूँ वापस. Yeah, 1 minute. So this is
Yes.
a
Short salary comparable class in which I used comparator and this is my driver class. So I call this and this is the result.
sort हो रहा है salary के ऊपर.
Yes.
1000.
Yes.
All of 1000 only, no? No, नहीं. Okay, 1000.
1000, 2000, 500, 3500 and 30,000.
Okay. That's good. Okay. That's correct.
Can I stop share?
Yes. See, suppose I want to sort them in descending order. Solution क्या है?
Yeah, so we can change from here like
Oh, it's a simple tweak. That's good. You thought of it, or you saw this
Yeah.
example somewhere?
Sir,
It came to your mind. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's good. Good. Nice division.
Here it is.
That's good. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mohammed Saad. Can you just share your screen, please? I'm just randomly, I just want to talk to you guys. That's all. Okay. Yeah. How is it going, Mohammed? Did you follow what we are discussing? Okay. He wants to come on camera. Mohammed, am I audible?
Hello.
Yeah, Mohammed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So how is it going? So
Sir,
I thought you were going to share your screen. You suddenly came on a camera. Okay.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है.
Sir, now I'm working, sir, just like if I switch in one program, sir. I'm not working on this, sir, giving assignment, just like I can show you, sir.
जो भी हो अब क्या काम on what topic you are working on, you can just share me. No, sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, Yes, on this program, sir.
Mhm. Mhm. ठीक है. See, if anything, okay, ठीक है. Nice. ठीक है.
Yes.
See, the thing is, yes, I know that you're giving importance to the assignment questions. I agree.
Yes, sir.
So you need to do off the class hours, after the class hours, when you feel you want to focus on the topics, you need to take it up.
Yes.
So please focus on the current topic, no?
Yes,
If
sir.
you don't mind. Huh?
Yes,
So that
sir. Yes,
see,
sir. Yes.
आप समझने को try करेंगे and you get some doubts there. So we will be in the context and it will be very easy for me to make you understand.
Okay. Yes, sir.
थोड़ा ही gap रहेगा. May if we can talk and fix it, so it will be helpful for you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sure. Thank you. Ma'am.
Thank you. I have to.
Yeah, you can stop sharing your screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm trying.
Sure. Yeah.
Stop it.
Okay, guys. So it's quite easy, guys. So it's not that difficult. Only thing is, it will be a challenge for you guys to what is the requirement. आपको requirement पढ़ना है, understand करना है, बाद में इसको implement करना है. आपको दिमाग में आना है, so which one to use and how you want to get that job done. So that challenge will be to understand your requirement. ठीक है? So आप सब अभी let's try to we are trying to make this work or compare two employee objects with respect to their salary. So O1, if you want to rename them, yes, of course, you can go ahead and do it. So this is my O1 is my employee one. So O1 dot get the salary dot compare to, okay, then object 2 dot get the salary. So salary compare ho jayega. So whenever it is trying to compare the employees, so it will get compared by the salary. So sort, okay, sorting driver. So okay, right now we want to sort, let's say I want to sort by employee salary. Okay. So now let's try to print it, system dot out. Sort by salary. I'm just making it short, right? Okay, so we can save some time there. So this is my employee list. So you can see this is 1,000, 2,000, and this is 2,000. Okay, guys. So this is how I'm able to sort it. Let's say if you have a set, or if you have any other collections, how are we supposed to sort it? So that particular collection itself, you can see here that collection itself is having a sort method. So I'll be able to use it and then I'll be able to sort it. So for example, let's say I have a hash map. Okay. Let's see, let's go for a map. So let me go for Just trying to put some of the elements there. I think we already discussed about how we can do the sorting of a map. No? So we can go for a tree map and we can get it automatically sorted. I think we covered that yesterday in the map.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Tree map की implement करेंगे and if we can do that, immediately we can get them sorted. Suppose in your map, let's say, you have your key itself as a user defined object, then there will be a challenge. Correct. No? So if it is any wrapper class, so you will be able to sort it, or my tree map will be able to sort it. Suppose if it is not a, if it is an user defined data type. Okay, so I would like to give this challenge to you guys, so you guys can give it a try. So what I'm saying is, so create a map. So that will have your key itself as an employee. Okay, so that employee object, so we'll be having a reference to maybe maybe you can think about you want to keep a mapping of key value as your user defined data. Okay, and then it is referring some some other user defined data. Or you can just, for example, let me do this way just for experimentation. Okay, there is no as such any real requirement. So let's say it is like this. Okay, so now I want to sort this particular map. So that is my requirement. Okay, so based on my employee names. Can we give it a try, guys? You
Yes,
got my
sir.
requirement? You got my requirement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you all give it a try, guys?
We have to sort this hash map.
Correct.
Oh.
But my key is employee object. I don't have a wrapper there. It is not a string. It is not a double. It is not a float. It is
Okay.
user defined data type. ठीक है? इसको sort करना है. Give it a try. Let's see. Let's see. Meanwhile, if anyone is having any doubts, you guys can go ahead and ask me.
Hello, Srinath.
Yes, please, Prince.
Sir, I am facing some problem in iterator method. Can I share
Okay.
screen?
Yes, please.
Sir, is it visible?
Yeah.
Sir, here it show an error.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
what
we'll
is the-
discuss about it. I have not yet discussed now. So इसको उसके बारे में पता करके फिर discuss करेंगे if you don't mind.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, don't mind. Yes, keep on your efforts. Keep on your efforts. I appreciate that, Prince. Yes. Yeah. Okay, employee list sort by employee salary. ठीक है, correct. Are you trying to attempt to sort your map, Prince, by any chance? Prince, are you there?
Yes, sir. What?
Did you happen to try that sorting of my map based on the key, employee as a key?
Sir, I am doing that question.
हाँ,
Yes,
ठीक है. Try करो. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Srinath.
Yeah, Abhishek.
So there is a doubt. I'm sharing my screen.
Sure, go ahead. There is a lot of background noise, Abhishek. Yeah, no issues. Go ahead.
Suppose I have created an array of the employee, and in it I have passed the value, the integer, and the two strings. Now,
Okay.
if I run it, and it is working properly. If I run it, it is showing 3 times that the in array these are the entries. And if I just remove it and like let's see. So I have taken the input of the values that I have to pass in the array of the class employee, and if I
Okay.
run it, suppose I give the 1, then something, and now it is showing the error. So why it is so? If I put the values straight here, then it is working properly, and I take the user input, and it is showing this error.
Okay, let me see once again. So you have, okay. So can you just tell me in which line the error has happened? In array driver. So can you quick, I think in line number 15 itself, there is something went wrong, no? Array driver.java, line number 15.
Yes, sir. So what's the problem in it? So it's a integer value I am taking.
So input
and here,
mismatch.
And
So
here I
scanner,
have to
new
pass
scanner.
the.
Correct. Okay. No, can you just click on that line number? See, you can just click on that exception line number. It will show you where exactly the exception happened and why your program got terminated.
Where I have to click here?
The last line.
Here.
Yeah. Click. Yeah.
Yeah, I clicked.
Okay, probably the thing is you are using the same scanner to read different data types. So internally there is an issue, and that's why it is having the problem. What you can do is you can create a different scanners for your data type. For example, you create a scanner, a separate scanner for integer value, because you're doing an iteration. No? The same scanner is going on, and when you go for the next line in line number 17, let's say it has done a first iteration. After the first iteration, in the next line, when it executed the line number 17, you have hit an enter key. Correct now? So it has read the data from the buffer, input key buffer, but still there is one extra character, that is the enter key. So that it is trying to read as an integer value. So that's why there is a mismatch in your input. So that's why it is throwing an exception. It is happening in the next iteration. So you can see in the first iteration, you have already given the input. So better you declare one more scanner for scanning your integers.
How I have to change this code?
So you just create one more scanner for your reading your integer values. So probably because you have in line number 17.
Here I have to use.
Oh no, the thing is you just understand. See what is happening. So when you say next line, it is reading from the buffer. There is something called a keyboard buffer. So keyboard buffer से वो read कर रहा है, ठीक है? जो भी आपको extra characters होगा उस buffer पे, so that is getting read in the next iteration. So there is one extra character in the buffer line, so that is trying to read from that particular next int. So when it is going for the next iteration, so it is getting some that special character, and it is getting to know that it is a mismatch. It is not an integer value. It's a special character होगा शायद. समझ में आ रहा है आपको?
So
Abhishek?
Yeah. So
yeah.
Like if I take it like it's a string, then convert it into integer and then pass.
हाँ बहुत बढ़िया चलेगा. जरूर चलेगा. जरूर it will work. Yeah, that's also a good solution. What you're thinking. Good.
And here I have to change it into string.
Parse करो. हाँ. Integer dot parse. हाँ. Integer wrapper class में एक parse method है. Parse करो.
Integer dot what was the command?
Parse. Parse is a method. P-A-R-S-E. हाँ.
Parse int.
हाँ. String pass कर दो.
Yeah.
Parse int. Correct. हाँ. Perfect. Select करो वो method. A pass करो parameter. A को pass
Now
करो.
it should work.
It should work.
Okay.
So first iteration, abhi it is getting executed. You can see here.
Yeah, it is working. Perfect.
No, complete करो. देखेंगे. Just three iteration. No. हमको क्या समझना है? How it is working internally देखना है हमें.
Yes.
Yeah. We have to find a way so that we are in line with our compiler.
Okay.
ठीक है ना? ठीक है.
The Java is completely different from Python.
हाँ. Yes. So you need to see what the next line does, what is the return value, how it is reading the data from the keyboard buffer, ऐसे पढ़ना है, ऐसे समझना है. When something is not working, then only will start working now. To see why it is not working. Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, guys. So what I'm thinking is, let me give you one more assignment, guys. So let me give you a contract. That means I'm going to give you an interface, and I want you guys to work on that interface. Okay. So now let's say, let me share my screen, guys. So this will be your assignment. So you have to, let's say this is my map. So I'm going to give you one interface. So I call this as my employee service. Okay. So this is my interface called as employee. So what I want all of you to do is, so let's say I want, say suppose I want to add an employee. So I'm going to give you employee object. You're supposed to add it to the map of an employee. Okay, so you can take ID as an key and employee object itself as a value. So, and you have to return me what you have added. For example, you have to return me back what is that you added. So let me just copy this employee which we created there. So this is my first requirement. So let's say I want to get an employee. For example, I want to do for get employee by ID. Look at the method name. So you need to give me integer employee ID. If I give you this, you have to return me the employee object from your map. Okay, so you have to create me one map. From that map, you have to get me that particular requested employee by ID. Okay, guys, so also please do update me. Update employee. So I'll send you employee. You have to send me the updated employee details. Similarly, also I want you guys to delete it. And after deleting it, you have to send me delete employee. You can give me the ID or delete employee by ID. So this is a method that should delete that employee from a given list or given map. Okay. So you can see that delete employee by ID. So I'll give integer so this is my requirement, guys. So basically I'm asking you guys to do the CRUD on the given data. That particular collection I'm preferring to implement it using your hash map. Of course, you can implement the same thing on your any of your collection. For example, you can take a list and you can do this CRUD operations. You can take a map and you can do this CRUD operations. So I'm preferring a map so that I will be able to access them based on the ID of the employee. So what I'm expecting now, so what you need to do. So here I've already created you this employee class भी ready है, employee service interface भी है. So इसको implement करना है आपको. So in that implementation class itself, you can declare one map as a data member of that particular implementation, and you can implement all these methods. So what I'm saying is, so let's create one class. We will call this as my employee service. I'll call this as my implementation. So मैंने आप सबको एक contract दे रहा हूँ. आप सब everyone will going to implement that particular requirement. So And just I will say that it has it's a implementation of my employee service requirement. So how do I implement it? So I will write implements employee service. ठीक है आपको, you have to just bring your mouse pointer here. We know how to generate the template code. You click it here. So आपको सब to do template आपको मिल जाएगा. So add employee, get employee by ID, update employee, delete employee. और एक challenge क्या है? So let me create a data member in this particular implementation. So आपको इधर एक data member को create करना है. Create appropriate collection to keep your data, keep your employee data. So whatever you want to create, for example, you want to create a list, go ahead and create. Yeah, hash map or a map, you go ahead and create. Okay. So when I call this add employee, it should get added to your collection. Okay, create one appropriate collection data member to keep your employee data. Okay. So into this particular collection, you add it, you get it, you update it, and you delete it. Okay, am I clear, guys? Any question in this? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, guys. So and take up this assignment as well. So you get almost 40-45 minutes. Try to implement it and show it to me. And also please do write a driver and make use of this service. So as of now, you can keep your data here itself inside this your implementation. I'm uploading the assignment, guys. It's there. Please take it out and work on it. So in the afternoon, we're going to work on the test cases, or we call it as a J unit. So what you do is, if anybody completes it well in time, so no issues, you can just do a self-study on what is this J unit, why it is used, why it is so popular, what all the features, etc. Okay, just give a glance on it. Yes, all of you go to this particular folder, guys, and please work on this implementation. I've already created this template for you guys. So you just have to implement these things.
Okay, sir.
Hello, Srinath.
Yes, please.
You may stop the recording.
Okay, you want me to stop it? Okay. One second.